Hey YouTube, it's me again, and I am back with my 8-month lock anniversary. And I have pretty much the same things as my previous lock updates to say, with some other news that I will be getting into. So jumping right in, I have not noticed a lot of physical changes with my starter locks or my lock development. This actually, I felt it's important to make a video with my hair freshly washed. Like, I just took my t-shirt and my little stocking cap off to make this so you guys could see what my hair looks like freshly washed, because every time I would see it this way, I'd be like, oh, I wish I could show everyone how it looked, because it will always feel softer, be fuller, and I just wanted to have people see that versus, you know, the freshly retwisted look, or, oh, I'm not retwisting my hair and I washed it a couple of days ago. By the way, I didn't even mention my 8-month lock anniversary was yesterday, Friday, March 31st, 2017. So this is what my hair looks like. Again, you can see that I still have the ends that are coiled. Granted, this one is an anomaly in that most of the hair shaft is getting to the point of being locked versus, let's say, yeah, something like one like this. This is actually the bulk of some of my locks, where most of it is pretty much a finger coil, and then like up to this much right here is budding and locking. So I don't really understand that, and it makes me kind of curious, but also somewhat frustrated and worried to see how this affects my lock development. And I don't mind actually having some curly ends. In fact, I was hoping to have quite a few of my locks, or like at least some of them, still have curly ends, so I don't mind that. It's just like having such a significant amount of my hair shaft still as a finger coil makes me kind of wary, and though it's like a kind of silly or stupid question, it's like, wait, is all of my hair actually locking, etc. keeps going through my head. But yeah, you can see how full it is, and my hair feels, of course it feels soft because it's wet, but even when it's like dry, I mean, it's not soaking, only there's like some of them that I still have like are slightly dripping a little bit, but even when it's mostly dry, it still feels much softer than like the time in between my washes, which actually leads me into a little bit of what I touched on in my previous video, as well as what I wish to continue going into in this update video. Now, my locks in between washes, they tend to just like start stiffening up. They feel very stiff. They don't feel very manageable, and that's due in part to like my own folly, and in part, I don't know, like the ratio of it could be like 20%, it could be 80%, in part to my own folly, in that I have not been able to upkeep my regimen in terms of, you know, spritzing and like and consistently moisturizing, oiling my scalp, etc. And the reason why I say I have not been able to versus like I've just like, you know, not been doing it or whatever, is that over this past month I've been struggling with my energy levels. In fact, today I had, you know, quite a bit planned, and I just woke up physically like really exhausted. I wake up that way, and that's been happening consistently every weekend, but for the past like almost 2 weeks, every day actually I would wake up feeling very exhausted, and it would impede on like how much time I would have to get done. It would also impede on how much energy I go throughout the day. And also something that I've struggled with, which has also been I guess a component of my insomnia, etc., is mental clarity and focus. Granted, it's better now since I've really taken up meditation as a practice, even if it's just 5 minutes or 2 minutes to 10 minutes, whatever, a day. I've seen much improvement in terms of getting to sleep sooner and more quickly, and being able to get up and like, go use the bathroom and come back down and still be able to fall asleep. But as I try to get things done throughout the day, I will just go off and my mental clarity is just like, will be like not there. So it takes so much more energy just in terms of my mental focus, thoughtless of like my physical ability. So like if I'm trying to, come up with a new ratio of ingredients for my scalp oil so that the neem oil isn't as strong of a smell, though I still definitely want the benefits of it. Doing the research will take twice, if not 3 times, if not 4 times, and I'm not exaggerating, as long to gather all that information, then to implement them, etc., etc. And my lock care is not the only thing that I'm doing or juggling throughout the day, so that leads me into what I've recently started. And by recently I mean like just yesterday was the first day of this organic, plant-based, nutrient-rich supplemental program, and just incorporating these supplements into my diet. And I'm really curious to see just how much it improves my energy levels, my mental clarity, my ability to sleep and feel more rested, much more rested in the morning, and also how providing this amount of nutrients to my hair affects my lock growth and development. Even the general, the base moisture level of it, irrespective of, topical care. So I just started it yesterday, and I believe that there'll be benefits to just supplying myself with more plant-based nutrients, etc. Because in the past, I believe it was like my second year of grad school, my breakfast for a while, I was able to stick to 32 ounces of green juice plus like a mini watermelon for breakfast. And at this point in time, I was a loose natural. And at one day, this is when my hair was twisted, I was like feeling my roots and they were so much softer. And this is just with breakfast being, but this is with just my breakfast being, so nutrient rich. They were so much softer than like they had been the month before and stuff. So I am really curious to see how this affects even like my skin. My skin is not really like, definitely nowhere near as bad as it was when I was younger, because I suffered from acne quite a bit in my teens, etc. But I still have some of the acne scars left over. But also this past winter, I had some issue with dryness, like this a dry patch under my lip that hasn't fully healed, and I'm just curious to see how it affects my skin, etc., my hair, etc., like that. And it goes in tandem with what I've been looking into, that I said in my last video, of internal and focusing on internal and foundational health, and seeing how that affects the external, and how that manifests in the external, whether like specifically talking about my locks, taking care of just your, of really focusing on your scalp and how that scalp health like affects the rest of the hair shaft and stuff. And so, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. And this leads me to say that I probably won't be updating on a monthly basis, considering how little change and shifts I've been noticing in my lock development, and I don't really feel like it serves myself and those who consistently view my channel to just come up and be like, oh, I haven't noticed anything much, yada yada yada. So I think I'm gonna be off for the next couple of months or so to really take notice and like, come back with, especially in terms of this new health regimen, to just come back with some more feedback on that and how that might have shifted things for me. Yeah, so I guess the only other thing that I haven't mentioned in the past is that I'm curious about those who are further along their lock journeys or have more information about locks being flat. Because my budding locks, some of them don't feel very round. They actually feel flatter, and I've attributed attributed it to me just tying my hair down, etc. And so I've attributed it to sorry, me tying my hair down every night to go to sleep, wearing my beanie throughout the day, etc. But I wonder, and I'm curious about, whether as locks bud, they tend to be flatter, or if that even really has any sort of effect on the ultimate outcome of my locks and the shape of my locks. So that's a question that I do pose because I'm curious about that. I haven't done much research on that in terms of the stages of lock development and the shifts that take place. So yeah, if anybody has any input on that, I would greatly appreciate it. And so I'm just going to give you a view of my locks right now. So here's the front. And one of the reasons why I'm going to, for one thing, keep up with not retwisting my hair every month, because I do like the fact that it looks fuller. It feels stronger even when I just like take something like this and just kind of like retwist it. Like the root feels stronger. Whoops, sorry. Sides. So I'm gonna keep on just like, maybe retwisting at least every 2 months. So here's like, for instance, this is like pretty flat, like if you can see, versus like rounder. This one probably has, I don't know, I like this one. And you can also see where there are, I hope you guys are able to see, it's, a lot of it's like finger coiled still. But yeah, I prefer the fuller look. My roots feel stronger. And I'm gonna retwist today just to kind of keep my hair separated, because this is I'm not free forming or semi free forming. I don't think what I'm doing and like the space I'm taking in between retwists would actually count as me semi free forming, but I plan to keep this way, also because I'm lazy or something, or just like I prefer even a more low maintenance approach to my hair care and lock care, and I don't really feel like facing every month with dread of like, oh my gosh, I have to retwist, etc. So for those who are even still considering whether to lock or not, and are just gathering information and watching videos to further get like a sense of what locking and that journey would be like, just take into consideration, especially when you are deciding on, let's say, the size and amount of locks you would like to aim for, retwisting. The more locks you have, the longer it would take you to retwist, and really be honest about your commitment to that kind of upkeep, because you're either committing time-wise and energetically, or you're committing financially if you're going to have someone retwist your hair every month. So, just like with even loose naturals where you see like, oh my goodness, her curls are popping, da 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 da. Just take into account that does take work. That is not just like for a good majority of those with like the popping locks, etc. I mean the popping coils, etc. That is not just like, it's probably not as easy as it might seem in terms of, oh, I wash my hair and I just kind of put gel through it, da 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 da. It's like sectioning, da da. I've done it before, so I know. And granted, everyone's like hair is different, etc. But their work does go into it. So really take into account, like I have, I believe the last time I counted I had 103 locks. So I guess hashtag like lock talk, lock count or whatever, but 103 locks. And like the first time I retwisted my hair, it took like, pretty much an hour. The second time it took longer. It takes like closer to 2 hours, depending on how much negotiation I have to do between like the strands that try to catch on to each other, etc. So definitely take that into account when deciding the amount, the thickness, the size, etc. of the locks that you want to start with. I definitely think it's a journey that's well worth it, and you won't know until you try, etc. But yeah, that's something to think about, I think I covered in terms of like my physical or topical treatment of my hair, and yeah, the health. So I think that's kind of it. Oh, one thing I will say is that what I did use to wash my hair, and I do use and have used to wash my hair, is Dr. Bronner's lavender soap. I do just one wash, really get in there with my scalp. And though I haven't done a lot of topical applications in terms of, you know, spritz or whatever, or oils to my hair, I still had buildup. And I had a tiny bit left after I washed, but I'm just like, I'm only washing once. I've used up enough time just like kind of sleeping for most of the day into the early afternoon, sort of. And I have stuff to do like this. So, I just, yeah, that's what I used to wash, and I believe I mentioned I just, like, then put it in a stocking cap to kind of keep the dripping, under control until I get into my room and I use my, t-shirt. So, I'm going to retwist with some gel I have left over. Didn't feel like, you know, remaking my own gel, and I will be back in a couple of months, hopefully with some very positive news for you guys. So until then, enjoy spring. Hopefully this weather will start to like get much more consistently warmer and sunnier. Even people who love New York are like, yeah, I am ready for it to get warmer and for the weather to get better. And enjoy your spring, enjoy your April. I love April, it's my birthday month. And I will see you guys when I see you. All right, bye, and thank you.